Hello and welcome to In the Loop. In this episode, IA publisher Gary Robinson travels to Miami to meet Ariel Amigo, Chief Marketing and Distribution Officer at Investors Trust.
Ariel Amigo, welcome to IA In the Loop, our new podcast series.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's never a hardship for me to be in Miami, number one. And it's the one place in the world, I've got to say, that no one, when I say, oh, I've got to go to Miami next week, everyone's like, oh, behave. It's a great place to come. But you live here and work here.
Yeah, for us, it's like any other city. We're not tourists, so we don't get to go to Miami Beach and the beach, and haven't been to the beach for ages. It's something that is always there, but you don't go. I mean, you're busy with your life, so it's not a vacation to live here.
So we're talking today about Investors Trust, the success story that is Investors Trust. This is a company I've personally watched grow from small, humble beginnings into the global force that you are now. It's an incredible story. Tell me a little bit about how far ITA has grown, and also, what next? You've grown organically. Are you looking at any acquisitions possibly? Any new regions you're looking to expand into?
Well, let me tell you, thank you very much for your words, Gary, and let me tell you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. We are moving into our 25 years of existence very soon. It's been a fantastic ride. As you know, I've been with the company for more than 18 years now, and I've seen it, grow from different stages, and it's a lot of satisfaction of seeing that type of growth and continuity within the firm, and yeah, I mean. Of course, our backyard was Latin America in the beginning, but we jumped to Asia very quickly, and then we grew into Middle East, and not only adding regions to the equation, but also more markets and getting into different markets within the same country. For example, that's something that we've done over the years, having more distribution and getting to more places, and we want to continue doing that. You mentioned organic growth. It's always been our objective, is to grow that way and look at opportunities, especially in economic international zones like our office, our company in Labuan in Malaysia, or the one in Puerto Rico, also taking advantage of that, or the one that we just opened in Gift City in India. And going to part of your question about what's the growth, what's next. It's for us, the Indian subcontinent is a very, very important part of that going forward. And we've been growing from our Dubai office, a lot of NRIs, etc. But to have boots on the ground, to have an office, to have a license, and you attract more people, more distribution, and that's something definitely that we're looking to continue pushing forward. It's just the beginnings, humble beginnings, as you said also, but we have big hopes for that endeavor.
Well, many congratulations in another new space. Acquisitions. Mm-hmm. There's a little financial pot somewhere within the, I assume, or I believe. Have you got any money aside to maybe get the right acquisition if it comes along? Are you interested?
That's what it is. I mean, over the years, we've been involved in many conversations and different moments for different companies from the industry, and some of them from a little outside of it. But the situation has to be right. As you know, an acquisition it takes a lot of work and a lot of putting resources on the side to take care of it. This whatever approach you're taking, right? Even if you're running both companies in parallel, if you're merging them, it's gonna take a lot of work, and it's gonna take your eye from the ball, no? And really that special opportunity hasn't been there for us. We are always paying attention. We're ready. It's something that if it makes sense, we will pull the trigger. But so far hasn't been the plan. And really for us, organic growth has been so good for us. And it's a way that allows your resources to grow with the company, and you don't stress those resources and you don't run out of capital for certain things. And we appreciate that way of growing, and we're very satisfied with that. So it has to be the right play.
I know that you guys have a certain approach, but if the right thing comes along, then then maybe.
Absolutely.
You've told us about the new offices in India and and the opportunities that brings. How do you see the future developments across the globe? Because, for example, you've got Phil Story, who is covering the EMEA region, which includes India, includes the Middle East, but it also sort of goes out to, Africa. You've got Europe, Would we ever see, Investors Trust in the UK or what's the... It's a big world out there, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it is a big one. But our growth, if you look at it, has always been emerging markets and some particular opportunities. Our strategy is not to compete in those developed markets, because there's so many products and opportunities for clients that it's hard. Rather spend those resources, that time and money, going after this, emerging middle class everywhere, in places like India or Turkey or Nigeria or Indonesia, where there's not many products that are competing, and there's more families that are looking into saving internationally for whatever reason, retirement, college, whatever it is. And it's kind of our forte. We feel much better moving in emerging markets rather than a developed market like the UK or the US, for that matter, or France, Germany, or Italy.
It makes sense. I mean, when you've got a sweet spot, why why change? And to try and to compete in a market that is oversaturated. So I understand that completely.
Yeah, but you always have those opportunities in Europe, and Europe is a region that we've been growing. With at a good pace over the last years, and you may have an office in one of those places taking care of expats, for example. What we see is the growth of the expat used to be north to south, and over the last 10 years, I would say, you see this south to south, where the Brazilian engineer goes to work in Mozambique. And the Chinese lawyer needs to set up shop in Africa because the company sent it over there. So those are things that we are paying a lot of attention to, and that expat community that moves around the world is, of course, it's the bread and butter of our industry, and it's something that definitely we want to go after too.
And they are the individuals and families that need the most advice, with
all the regulations, with all the changes, tax situations too, and they're looking for portable products. And yes, absolutely.
Now, I'm going to thank you for the support that Investors Trust has brought to our Investment International Latin America Forum. Now into its 4th year, we kind of had I remember, we're sat here in Miami. I remember we went for lunch. I think it was yourself, Lindsay, Gustavo, and myself, and we sat and we were talking about the industry. And you made me feel really good. You said I was the first English journalist that bothered to come all the way. And it was a nice moment, and we hatched a plan. We talked about a possible event in Miami or for Latin America, and here we are. We've got number 4 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, on the 17th of September this year. Incredibly exciting. We had a real fantastic event last year. People from all over the region traveling just for our little event, this little publishing company in England from London, and it really does give me sort of great satisfaction and pride. So I want to thank you for that. So it was an idea hatched around that lunch table, wasn't it? It was fantastic.
Yeah, well, we saw the need, no, and of course, you've been running other events in other places of the world where probably not much travel is required, but we saw the need of a region, but to have many professionals in many countries that are involved in this industry, and they like to get together, and I think at the end of the day, it goes back to what we were discussing before about being people, being services, being a people industry. And it's nice to see each other. It's nice to talk about things. It's nice to listen to other people and experiences. And that it's as humans is everywhere. It's not only in Middle East and in the UK. It's also in Latin America and in Asia Pacific. So I think and when you look at other events to do, probably in other regions in Asia, etc., I think the success is going to be there because there's people that care about these things.
Well, thank you once again for continued support. I agree with you. I think it is important when you see the engagement in the room, the energy, and of course we did our last event in Spanish, which still can't believe that I managed to pull that off, but we did, right? I managed to pull it off because I was on stage for most of the event, speaking in English and with a Spanish translation in my ear, and when the Spanish speakers were speaking, I had it in English. It was brilliant, really exciting. Portuguese this time, so we've got interpreters once again. Just looking at that region, how big a region is Brazil for ITA? And I've been told that Sao Paulo's like the New York of Brazil. Very excited to see what it's like. But how important is that region to Investors Trust?
Well, but Brazil is a region on itself, no? I mean, it's really the only country in Latin America that speaks Portuguese and kind of separates that from the rest. But it's a huge economy. It's a huge economy. I mean, I had to check last population number, but I had to be pushing 200 million people. And they've been, over the last 25, 30 years, they've been with up and downs typical of the region. They've been advancing and they've been creating more middle class, and there's more Brazilians that are looking at things that before they couldn't afford. And absolutely, the South is very rich, and Sao Paulo is just a humongous city. It's one of those more than 20 million people. It's so large, and it's really the heart, the financial heart of Brazil. And so you're going to be fine, and you're gonna be impressed.
I'm really looking forward to it. Just tell me a little bit about we've spoken about how Investors Trust interacts with the brokers and advisors, and you seem to create this community. I've said this loads of times, and I fear repetition, but there's something about the Latin American spirit that once you become a friend, you're kind of a friend for life. I get more WhatsApp messages from this region than I do anywhere else in the world. And I know a lot of people around the world, but this region, mainly football related, because I love football. But this sort of community that you've grown of advisors and brokers is a real loyalty, it seems. This university that you created, 2-3 years ago, and tell me a little bit about that, because it seems that that's feeding into that community, this opportunity to advance and learn more about the industry, learn more about financial services that you're offering your partners.
Yeah, well, two different things, right? I mean, in Latin America, you have culture, relationships are very, very important. Yes, relationships typically grow from a professional to a personal one. That doesn't mean that all professional relationships become personal, but it does mean that it's the component, the human component is very, very high in the culture. And we are all from Latin descent, if you think about it, right? Mix over the centuries, but a lot of people coming from Spain, from Italy, And we speak Portugal, of course, we speak Spanish, we speak Portuguese. And our Latin roots in general have defined these societies where those relationships are very important, family and friendship and the like. So that's very nice, and I come from one of them, so I'm very familiar with that. And then ITA University, really, I think it's a combination of that, but also the commitment that we have with our distribution. That our partners saw that we were investing in them, we were making them better, saying that, listen, these courses are available. You work with us and you have access to all this, and it makes you better. You get training on fixed income, on equities, on alternative assets, on how to deal with clients. You have different opportunities, and you can build this curricula, if you like, over the years. And also, if you are a manager, let's say, and you are managing a sales force, you know that that's available also for the people joining your group. So you can go and recruit new people saying, listen, we have this educational plan for you available that you can do with this company. So it's, at the end of the day, is being with them, offering more options, offering more support. And people who've been working with us for a long time, they know that that's our way. And the new ones, they said, this is awesome. And they just want to work with us. And it's part of our offering.
Well, many congratulations with that. It's not something that's just paying lip service and a kind of gimmick. It's I've seen the videos, I've seen the feedback that you've had. It's very impressive.
We did our masterclass in Madrid. It was on site. It was not online. It was at the ITA University. I went, and it was spectacular, and we're planning to do another one this year. So this is a program. It became a program, and we're going to build on it for the foreseeable future.
Well, Ari, as always, it's an absolute pleasure to see you, and very excited to have you on IA's In the Loop podcast. Thank you for talking to us, and enjoy the rest of your week as you prepare for your big event, which is next week.
Indeed. The timing, it's couldn't be more stressful, but we're here, and we're making it happen next week. And thank you very much for having me here.
Thanks for watching or listening wherever you get your podcasts. Join us again next time for In the Loop.